Hey guys, welcome to the Captain Fizz and Mask Guy show. For some reason, I want to go off and hum the theme to the original Tech series, which has absolutely nothing to do with our topics tonight, but I don't that dwee now. I don't know why. Anyways, today we're going to be talking a little bit about the new Spider-Man movie, even though Captain has not seen it yet. And we'll talk about a bunch of other things, because that's kind of what we end up doing anyways. So sit back, relax, listen to some music, and we'll be back in a moment.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Captain Fizz and Mask Guy show. I am Captain Fizz.
And greetings once again from the seventh moon of thunder. I am that Mask Guy, and I gotta tell you, that can be a mouthful sometimes.
Absolutely, and I'm really happy today because I have a full stomach. I decided to have a double Baconator from Wendy's, which was absolutely delicious. And I tried their new queso fries, bacon queso fries. Two words that really absolutely should just get married. Bacon and queso. They're really good. And they're even better together if they kind of put more queso and a lot more bacon. And my fries were a lot more crispier. I'm a little picky on my food.
That's okay. I'm not a big fan of their fries anyways.
So, next thing on their menu I want to try, I guess they got a queso burger.
They have queso burger. They have a queso chicken sandwich as well. I have not had either of them, but I will take it from my wife and from Big Mike, who both. Well, Big Mike loves them. He's usually on Tuesdays. I pick him up and we go to Wendy's, and he goes off. In the last few weeks, he's gone the queso burgers. So I mean, he likes some spice. He likes some spice in his life.
It's not spicy enough. And Weem, I don't care how you pronounce the word. This is how I pronounce it. This is a free world.
It's queso, isn't it?
I call it queso because, God forbid, don't care.
It's queso.
That sounds like someone is undecided. It's like, queso.
Oh, shut up. You jeez.
So that's pretty much what I've done today. This last weekend, I've pretty much been running around everywhere, doing Pokemon. Yes, I am still in this. I have caught 6 Articunos, which, if you don't know what it is, I feel very sorry for you.
I don't even know what it is. Oh.
It's a deep fried chicken.
Oh my.
Actually, that would be Moltres. Moltres is a deep fried chicken slathered in hot sauce. If you don't get that reference, you obviously haven't hung around with me enough. So we're going to be keeping our shows to a maximum of 45 minutes from now on, just because it is easier on us and everything else.
I don't know.
And yeah, that's pretty much about it. So
you have no idea what
I'm stalling, and
you're stalling terribly here, and I would apologize, but no.
I've always stalled this show. I think every single week.
Well, you sort of have to, because I'm the social media guy, because we don't have a third person here to do any of this for us. So I'm going through like I retweet on all 7 of my Twitter accounts the show, just so to try to get us out to as many people as possible. I put it on my LinkedIn account. I normally put it on my Facebook account, but I'm not doing that today simply because I have something to bring up that I found on Facebook to discuss in our opening segment and I don't want to lose it, just because I want to go off and add this onto our Facebook page. So,
well, as soon as you're done your social media, we will actually
I've done the social media.
Okay,
actually.
we will delve into our first topic of the night.
Okay, so I last Wednesday on my anniversary, and
happy anniversary!
Thank you. 9 years. It doesn't seem that long. My wife and I, we went off and we saw Spider-Man: Homecoming. I thought it was a pretty good movie. I wish I wasn't so tired.
You're preaching to the choir on that one.
Yeah, and I will say this: I went in with super high expectations, and it didn't meet those expectations. But it would have been impossible for it to have. But after reviewing and kind of sitting back and thinking about it, I realized it was still a really epically good movie. Kirsten Dunst. And, she went off...
Dun, dun,
dun. She went off, and I'm just trying to see if I can come up with it. She was interviewed. I can't find exactly who she was interviewed by.
I don't think at this point it's relevant of who she's interviewed by. It's more or less her comments.
Well, I mean, and the fact that, I think the word relevant really fits with her, because what exactly has she went up and done since the Spider-Man movies? If you guys could list one thing that she has won and done, then you are a better person than me, because I can't list anything without actually going on to, the International Movie Database.
Honestly, I really can't classify her as doing much in the Spider-Man movies, period, because really she was a lackluster actress. She played a very important...
She was a lackluster actress playing a lackluster actress.
Yes, absolutely.
So, but anyways, so she's made it clear that she has no interest in watching the movie, and she went as so far as to go off and to say that it says we made the best ones. So who cares? I'm like, you make it all you want. They're just milking that cow for money. It's obvious. You know what I mean? And I said that terribly.
I have to inject here. Just because quote unquote made the best movie doesn't mean it was the best that there possibly could be. I could go outside, put on like a cape, some spandex, and go be a superhero. I could be the best superhero in my neighborhood. Doesn't mean I am the best superhero.
Okay, she also went off and she, followed up, says, I don't care. Everyone likes our Spider-Man. Come on, am I right or what? Listen, I'd rather be in the first ones than the new ones. And I will simply just say this. I've been saying this for years. While I loved the Sam Raimi movies to a certain degree, I thought they were well written, they were well directed. I've never been a huge fan of how Tobey Maguire portrayed the role of Peter Parker in Spider-Man.
No, absolutely not. He was not the right choice for it. He was way, I don't want to say whiny, but he didn't portray this teen angst
Well, first
character.
off, it wasn't really teen angst. They went off and they played it up as him just, getting ready to graduate from high school. What I hated about it was that, Peter Parker, means Spider-Man is supposed to be this wisecracking, superhero. And I never got that from Tobey Maguire's portrayal of him in any of the three movies he was in.
No, absolutely not. I completely agree with you on that one.
And so, that was frustrating. And I know I'm in the minority when I say this, but I loved Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man.
See, both were good in their own ways, right? Like, the story writing in the first two, I refuse to acknowledge the third one.
I'm right there with you.
Were really good. The acting was horrible. But for the remake...
Don't hold anything back!
For the remake, the acting was what they needed in that first movie.
You know what? I think I bought more into the love story between, Emma Thompson. I mean, not Emma. Oh my goodness.
Gwen.
Between Gwen. Oh yeah, I'll call it by Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker in the Amazing Spider-Man movies more than I bought into the Mary Jane Watson Peter Parker love story in the original trilogy. And as someone who love the concept of Gwen, I thought it was a really good way to differentiate themselves from the Amazing Spider-Man movies. From the original
The
series.
only thing I hated about that series was Lizard.
The only thing I could spend a week telling you about the things I did not like about the movie. The only things I've often said, if we could have had Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man and the Sam Raimi movies, that would have probably have been, an epic trilogy. Of course, Sam Raimi should never have been allowed to go off and have done anything with Venom. This is not a knock at him, but he was not a fan of the comic books, when Venom was introduced. So he should never have went off and agreed to brought that character in, because that was one of the things that utterly destroyed, the third Spider-Man movie.
Oh, I completely agree. And it wasn't just Venom that destroyed that third movie. It was also Sandman.
Well, I mean, and there's a case of having a great actor in a terrible role. Thomas Hayden Church, I believe his name is, plays Sandman in there, and he is a phenomenal actor. But, I mean, this was not a role that he could really, sink his teeth into. And I think that was kind of the problem with a lot of it, especially at that movie. But, I mean, you look at, the Green Goblin from, the original movie. You take a look at, Doc Ock from, Spider-Man 2. Those were incredible villains. And then you follow that up with the Sandman and watered down Venom. And then in Amazing Spider-Man, you had, the Lizard and the Green Goblin.
If the Lizard was done right, it could have been phenomenal for the series, but he was done horribly.
They went off and they made a list of the 100 greatest comic book villains in movies. The Lizard was ranked number 98.
Now, are they just going off on a movie?
I think they're going just based off of movies that have had comic book characters in them.
Okay.
Number 98.
See,
the third least effective supervillain in comic book movie history.
I agree, but if they were going by just comic books, that story would be completely different. I always loved him in the cartoons. I loved him in the comic books. They just did not find a way to justify, Lizard Man in the movie.
And I mean, that was just it. I mean, it was insulting the way they went off and portrayed the characters. And I don't even want to talk about what they did to the Rhino in the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I actually just watched that recently. I got to the introduction of Rhino, and I turned it off.
Well, there isn't much left in there. I mean, dear God, that could have been a lot worse. They were going to go off, and there was going to be a deleted scene there was a deleted scene that was supposed to be at the end of the movie, where we find out that Peter Parker's father is still alive.
Dun,
so
dun, dun.
It could have been a heck of a lot worse.
And this is a case of the actors succeeding more than the writers. We've stated this before, and I'm not afraid to say it again. The writers make a movie. You honestly, you can have the best actors who are doing the best that they possibly can. But if you have a writer who absolutely writes the most atrocious garbage known to man, doesn't matter how great of an actor you are, you cannot act crap.
It is true. And the sad thing about the Amazing Spider-Man movies is that Andrew Garfield has actually come out and has told everyone that he was never really Spider-Man. And I don't remember the full context, but I think he was just so down on how those movies were received and how much they got bashed that he kind of, started feeling down on himself about it.
The writers definitely failed him.
Yeah, and I mean, Andrew Garfield, his career has moved on. He's, had a couple of phenomenal, performances since then. But, I mean, dear God, this is... I mean, it's so. I mean, now we got Kirsten Dunst, who again is an actress who hasn't really done anything. I mean, neither her or Tobey Maguire really